Welcome to Melodies in Mind, the happiest show on earth. You are being summoned into the songs of the spirit of social concern. So relax, kick back, and join the harmony. Every week we bring 3 featured guests who share their music in an interview starting at 8 p.m. Then they come together for a full hour song circle at 9. Now, come with me, and let us meet today's featured guest. Shall we? We shall, if there were guests this week, but this week actually it's going to be a live DJ show. Going to do the traditional DJ thing of playing CDs, but I'm going to make it extra, what do you call it? Expose, I suppose. Today I'm going to play new CDs that have been sent to our station. The show is produced in Vancouver, BC, although this hour is broadcast across the country on 11 different stations. I'm going to give you a little inside look at how things go at a community radio station. Every week we receive a lot of CDs. Musicians from across the country, the continent, the world will send CDs to the station. Now, if you're not familiar with what a CD is, before there was data, before there was data music, there were these discs. They were round. They were like small records. We'll not think about what records are. I'm sure you young people have not seen any of those before. But they're round discs that go into what used to be known as CD players, and we still have them here at the station. And anyhow, we get these. And they have recordings of music from all of these musicians across the country. And what we do is we review them and discern whether or not we'll play them on our show, which is actually a tremendous privilege. It's the really beautiful thing about community radio, because at any other radio facility, you would not be the one choosing. It would be commercial and marketing people who are trying to satisfy the general public for their taste, and also all of their advertisers and things like this, which is why you don't always get the best music on the commercial radio stations. And a community radio station, if you're really enthusiastic about music and love to hear all kinds of music, you're in a good spot, and you get the opportunity to share. Now, on this show, what I normally do is actually share the musicians rather than their recorded music. And so this week, and about every 5th week, I'll be sharing the recorded music, because it's a big part of the industry for sure. We don't always have the musician in our living room. In fact, we usually don't. And so these recordings are important. And so this week I've selected 6 CDs, and I have not listened to any of them. And so you're going to get to experience what I experience, and we're going to discover them together. And so the first CD is by Little Miss Higgins and the Winnipeg 5, and it's called Bison Ranch Recording Sessions. And I've decided to play track 8, which is called Dead Cow Hill. And I'll milk it for all it's worth, although it sounds like it's not worth a whole lot if it's Dead Cow Hill. We'll see what we get, and we'll talk about it after.
It's been hours since the sun went down. I want to see a little farther than my corner of town. That's when I heard my neighbor call, let's go to Dead Cow Hill. I've been out to this hill a few miles from town with a few different people from here and around.
There you go, Dead Cow Hill. Now, I must confess, I am already familiar with this artist. I've listened to a couple of CDs from them before, and this is the sound I was hoping for. A critical review would be that this is fun. It's a fun song. It's got great life. And one great thing about the body of work that Little Miss Higgins brings is that there's a sense of culture to it. There's a prairie culture in the music, and there's also a live album as well that really brings out that culture. And so it becomes like a real social staple to work with the music of Little Miss Higgins. The Winnipeg Five I'm not familiar with, and I don't know if they were involved in that one because it sounds like very much like the Little Miss Higgins music I've heard before. So yeah, I'm excited to hear the rest of this CD. So that was called Dead Cow Hill. The trumpet in this band is a big piece. It's really cool, good trumpeting. The trumpet is played by Jimmy James McKee. Second album is by a band, Slow Leaves, Second Chances. And so I'm going to talk about impression now, after I silently burp into my sleeve. You don't get to see things, so I have to describe what's going on. I always have to be aware of that. Right now I'm looking at the CD, Slow Leaves, and it's called Second Chances. Now, one thing I find interesting about this CD is that it's got a nice photo in the front of a forest, and the CD itself has nice graphics on it. It's a crystal case. Looks like a lot of time went into that, and then I see that it's actually an EP. It's only 3 songs, and so that's interesting. It's not something you see a lot. Usually if it's 3 songs, it'll be in just a simple case and not a whole lot of flash there. So it looks like, at least in the visual presentation, some time went in. Now we're looking, we got 3 tracks here to choose from. One's called Life of a Better Man. Second one is Second Chances, and the third is Careless and Serene. And I'm going to choose 3. Careless and Serene, and we'll see what we get.
Turn of a switch, she buttons down her coat, rain-soaked ditch, stopped on the road, and I'm the one who must take you through the eyes of the storm, keep you warm. A poet's provider, creator of need, soul trapped inside her, lost and relieved. And the drops on the windows fall scattered and maimed. Can't put out the flames. Set out this morning,
I don't know how you felt, but I liked it. It was quite skillful. The guitar and melody were really well done. And there's the melody line and the guitar line, and the melody line, guitar line were working well separately and together. I was watching the melody line and how it lines up with the guitar line, and it wasn't noticeable, which is what you want. You don't want people to notice that. It's got its own continuity, its own sort of magic to it. It was a very pleasant listen. Well, if you talk about sort of the practical matters of making a living with music, the first album we're going to play, I played from Little Miss Higgins, is going to work a lot better. And we're talking about not talking about CDs now. We're talking about finding stages to play on. One thing about this kind of music that's from that song Slow Leaves is that there's not many places for that to be played. There's cafes, but there's no real kind of living to be made from cafes, really. There's really not enough money for you. But if you're more like the excitement, energy of a Little Miss Higgins, then there's places to go with that, because it's people go out to have fun most of the time. There's a much smaller audience for the thoughtful stuff, at least in public. At home, this CD would be an incredibly good thing to have. It's wonderful and puts you in a nice mood. And for a soft song, it actually has a real good feeling to it. It has a nice little life to it, especially the guitar lick and how it's got some bounce to it. It's quite nice. Both are really good so far. So that was Slow Leaves. The CD is called Second Chances. And you can visualize the CD case being opened. I'm pressing in a button that says Open, Close. That's the sound of a CD being opened. Now this is the sound of a CD putting into its case. The case being closed. The case closed. Next case. We have a band, Twin Forks. This is a paper case. So, again, we're talking about impressions here. Very bendable, soft. It's cardboard. Doesn't give the same impression of officialness as a jewel case does, but it actually is quite practical, because this thing, the soft cardboard case, will not get disturbed in the mail. However, a jewel case, the standard case type, has a big advantage for radio stations, because we have our CDs lined up on shelves. In a jewel case, you can have the title and artist of the CD visible from the outside when they're stacked up side by side on a shelf. A paper one like this, if I were looking for the CD in the radio station, I would not find it, because there's nothing written on the spine. It's a very important detail. It's very thin, but it does do better in the mail. So there's different things to consider. So the band's called Twin Forks. The CD's called Twin Forks, and it's 5 tracks. The choices are Back to You, Something We Just Know, Cross My Mind, Can't Be Broken, and the last one is Scraping Up the Pieces. The one that's most interesting to me is Scraping Up the Pieces, so that's what we're going to hear. I want to know what that's about. It's got me intrigued. Oh yes. Visualize a DJ making a mistake, pressing the wrong button. There we go.
I don't have no ring, but I can steal one on the way. I'll be making good on all the promises I made. I never had much money, but I got a little saved. Baby, leave the light on, I'll be coming over late. A face just like an good. There's a lion in your eyes. You can tempt the devil, and I wouldn't be surprised. You believe in ghosts. You're the girl I love the most. You could have had a better man, but I'm the one you chose. So when I say I need you, and I'm never gonna stop, believe me, 'cause I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And don't you ever doubt that I will give it all I got. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart. You're staring at it differently out in the light of day. I may have missed the party, but there's flowers on the way. You say no one needs to save you, and no one ever should. Pull yourself together, boy, it'll only do you good. So when I say I need you, and I'm never gonna stop, believe me, 'cause I mean it from the bottom of my heart. But don't you ever doubt that I will give it all I've got. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart. I could be delivered, I could go to rest on high, up in paradise forever, in the golden shining sky. It couldn't feel much different than the years I had alive, staring up into the heavens, with you lying by my side. So when I say I need you, and I'm never gonna stop, believe me, 'cause I mean it from the bottom of my heart. No, don't you ever doubt that I will give it all I've got. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart. You're the girl I love the most. You could have had a better man, but I'm the one you chose. So when I say I need you, I'm never gonna stop. Believe me, 'cause I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Now don't you ever doubt that I will give it all I got. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart. I'll be scraping up the pieces from the bottom of my heart.
That's from Twin Forks, Scraping Up the Pieces. That's another yes, I'd say. And basically that's what I would do if I were reviewing CDs. I'd be going yes, no. Usually I've got the yes or no within 10 seconds. It's true if you've heard that before, but when you listen to a lot of music and you evaluate the music, your decision's usually made in the first 10 seconds. And so for an artist, what you put for your first track, because most people will do the first track, I don't always do, but I usually do, is very important, especially the very first bit. You got to catch someone right away. Decisions are made pretty fast. And it's just, for me, it's, because I'm community radio, I get a lot of freedom. It's just, do I like it or not? Would I listen to this if it weren't my task on a radio show? If I were at home, would I listen to this? Do I like it? Do I feel good? Do I feel engaged? With this one, it wasn't, it's a rare case, but it wasn't right away. I liked the energy right away, but it took a while for me to see a little more artistry in a song. And I feel that there's enough here that I would want to listen to more songs. Often things are really good in a small first impression with this sort of phenomenon in mind, and then there's not a lot of depth. This is a kind of music that, of course, would do really good. It's a jig, sort of a pub type of feel. And mind you, it's one track. It's not the whole CD. Who knows what the other 4 tracks are? But that's a very marketable product right there. That's Twin Forks. Next album will be by the band The Deep Dark Woods. I've listened to a few albums from The Deep Dark Woods. I'm familiar with them. So I've got some prior history going into here. They're popular with a lot of people. I am not necessarily one of those. They kind of make me think of Headwater, which is more of a... I think they're both sort of local BC or at least Western Canadian bands. I know Headwater is a BC band. And that they're incredible atmosphere. If you're not listening for lyric or content, but just for the feel, they're great. However, this is a new project, and so it might be different. Personally, I don't go for that, because there's plenty of artists that can do that. I like a little more story. I like story and structure, and I like things to have variety, which I don't find the Deep Dark Woods, at least in the past, have had, nor does Headwater, in my experience. But both are popular bands, and they often get play the festivals, and they must have good followings, considering that they do well. So it works, and they're both all guys. They're all sort of not exactly country western, but they got that feel to it, and they're all guy bands. I got to think of the genre, I would say. Anyway, what's in this CD we don't know at all until we actually listen to it. And the CD's called Jubilee. There's 13 tracks. I'm gonna choose one called Pacing the Room, which is number 6. It's like a middle one.
I'm still pacing, and it's all because of you. I'm pacing because of you. I once had a woman, she was 19 years old. Red ruby lips and hair as bright as gold. Fair young maiden, so hard to deter. And I'm pacing, and it's all because of her. I'm pacing because of you. My bag's in my hand, leaving sweet Susie the finest in the land. Father hates me, says I'm too poor. Now I'm pacing her, and I'm bitter to the core. I'm pacing her 'cause of you. Cursed and he cussed me and he sent me away. facing, I'm here on my own, just a pacing room. I'm all alone, I'm pacing room, 'cause of you. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. Try my hardest not to weep or cry. If I ever see him at my cabin door, put his bones in the box, and I'll bury him in the floor. I'm pacing the room, 'cause of you. Her beauty overthrew me, now I'm lonesome to the bone. She regrets she ever left me when she's overgrown. Alone when he's buried, this you've been for long. I'm still pacing the room, wishing I was never born. I'm pacing the room, 'cause of you.
Okay, so that's a pretty standard deep dark woods sound there. That's what you get with just about all of their music. They're very consistent, and for its sonic qualities, it's quite good. It's got a hauntiness to it, sort of a. And I do remember my very first impression. I was actually in the woods, hiking up this very mountain that our radio station is on here, and I thought it was perfect. It was perfect for what I was doing. But I never get involved with the songs. I suspect a lot of you were like me, and you weren't really following the lyrics because I find them very hard to follow. It's a stylized kind of singing, and I believe it seems the singing is done more for the sonic qualities than the actual story. And so it may even be that the vocalist is not even focusing on what they're saying. And so if they're not focusing on what they're saying, you're not going to. They're more focusing on their sound. And so what you're going to hear is a sound. When often I like, and you know, all of this is, of course, personal opinion, but at least with folk music, I often don't even care about the sound of the voice. It's the story, it's the lyric. A lot of the great folk singers actually aren't very good vocalists. Or, I mean, singers. I think of a vocalist as someone who knows how to use what they have. Or, well, there's a difference. I might be getting mixed up here, but there's a difference. There's one type of person who knows how to use what they have, and there's other person who's very skillful at their vocal sound. If someone knows how to use their voice properly, you can be very good. Some people are almost talking in their music, and I like that because it's about the story and I get involved with the music. It draws me in, where something like this doesn't. And because I've heard them, it's like my feelings that I've been there, I've done that. This would be a no, this one, in my review, The Deep Dark Woods. So, but for a lot of you listening, I'm sure you will enjoy it. A lot of people do. A lot of people go to their shows. So there's two different worlds there. There's the recording and the show. Next one is by band The Raccoon Wedding. And the CD is called Raccoon Dead on the Side of the Road. Now, my visual impression, the cover art really doesn't have any words on the front. It looks like some kind of gothic smiley face, actually. But that's even using my imagination a lot to even call it a smiley face. It's impressionistic kind of art with two X's on it. On the back is a jumble of letters, Raccoon Dead on the Side of the Road, written a bunch of times. And to me, it doesn't impress me at all. The name of the band and the name of the CD, in a look at the CD case, has me expecting more of a rock and roll sound. But I've been fooled before, so we'll see what we get. Sometimes first impressions are completely wrong. One of my favorite artists is Terry Hendricks, and the first CD cover I've seen from her, I thought it was going to be really bad country music, and it ended up being really good folk music. One of my favorite folk singers around, who also does a little bit of a swing music as well. So I'm gonna pick track number 6 again, Elephant.
Dug my knife to the heart of that city. Said, boy, you're coming with me as I go down. He shoved his gun right to my temple. Said, I will shoot if you make a sound. Singing, oh, how I hate this town. Oh, how I hate this town. Bang my drum with the bones of the father. Thieves and marauders who stole the town. I ain't writing no song about these streets. I'd rather never make another sound. Singing, oh, how I hate this town. Oh, how I hate this town. Like that, it's a sinking boat, but we all continue rowing, ignorant of all but I ain't going, so I walk on walk, and I will walk till it's all goes down. Singing, oh, how I hate this town.
Okay, so there was that. So my assessment is that it's it was in 10 seconds I knew I wasn't a fan of that music. In my opinion, it was a band not ready to be on a CD. It was That was my impression. It never would have gotten onto my show except for this episode, because this episode is about this. It's about reviewing the CDs, and it's an expose of what a DJ will go through when they're reviewing music for their show. And so that was band The Raccoon Wedding, Raccoon Dead on the Side of the Road. It seems to me the band is working to do a lot, but they're probably doing it too soon. It's you've got a lot of ideas, it seems, but it's not there yet. Now I have every expectation that this next one will be a very polished recording. This is from the band, and I never know how they like it pronounced, but it's either the Sadies or the Saddies. Sadies. We get a lot of CDs with them, but it's usually a fairly well-known artist and the Saddies. The Saddies are a backing band a lot of the time. They're an interesting group in that they kind of have made a name for themselves by being a backing band for a whole lot of different people. But this one is just the Saddies, and it's called Internal Sounds. But that doesn't mean it's them necessarily. I noticed, because looking in the liner notes, that track 11 has Buffy Sainte-Marie with mouth bow and vocals. And I have no idea what mouth bow is, but I'll see if I can pick it out. By Buffy Sainte-Marie. We're going to play that one. Now these are longtime professional musicians, so I'll be incredibly surprised if this is not a polished recording here.
We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. We are spiraling, spiraling together, onward, inward, return to creation, holy mystery, Mother Earth, childbirth, this is Mother Nature, this is sacred. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is celebration, this is celebration. We are spinning up, spinning all together. We are singing over the rainbow. This is harmony, this is community, this is celebration, this is sacred. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. This is sacred. We are ripening, ripening together. Babies, elders, bosons and angels. This is how we grow, this is how we get to know. This is family, this is sacred. We are circling, party. This is celebration. This is sacred. This is sacred.
And so there you go. There's that one. For this one, I would give it some benefit of the doubt. That track was interesting for a while, but I lost interest pretty fast as well. It's a chant. For the last track on the album, that's actually makes sense. By that time, that would be something that would go over well, because you've listened to the whole album, and in fact, some albums are thematic, which I wouldn't put past the Saddies to do, considering they do so much work to make a thematic album. And in fact, a song like that would be a really wonderful conclusion to a thematic album. On its own, though, I'm not so much a fan of it. It's not bad, but I wouldn't choose it for a radio show. Except perhaps if I was, in fact, making a thematic thing. It's very Buffy Sainte-Marie, that's for sure. It's quite experimental. It's a social song, and it's neat. How about we give them another go? Let's get another song off this, since we have a few minutes left here. We'll try another one. Now, there's two tracks here back by back that I find amusing. One is called Another Tomorrow Again, and the next one is Another Yesterday Again. And so I'm going to go with the second one, Another Yesterday Again, and we'll see what that is.
Fingers on the
So that's what the saddies or sadies sound like on their own. That's about what I was expecting to hear. It's not always good to meet someone's expectations with music, but like what Little Miss Higgins did, I was happy. Of course, how are you ever going to know what people's expectations are either? But to me, they sound exactly like what they are. They're a backing band trying to be a front band, and there's no clear personality. It's just a band. If I heard that without knowing who it was, I'm like, oh, that's a band. It doesn't really draw me in. There's nothing really significant about it. But if you put them in the right context, you realize they're a really good band, but it's they got to be in the right context. I feel. And so that concludes the show this week. Next week we're going to have some live guests, 3 songwriters sharing their music with you. And I won't be saying a whole lot except having a little interview with each and having them play. The show, Melodies in Mine, has been going for about 12 years here at Vancouver studio CJSF 90.1. It's been 8. I also had 4 years at CHSR 97.9. And what I did today is what it originally was at CHSR. And that's one of our syndicators, so a shout out to CHSR, College Hill Student Radio. And I believe I got the numbers right. It's 97.9. I think they're still like imprinted in my brain after saying it endless times. And so that'll wrap up the syndicated first hour. If you're listening locally, there'll be another hour to come. Thank you for listening to Melodies in Mine. It is my hope that you have had at least half as much fun as we did in putting this show together. It is a total joy to be bringing you the best in folk music every week. So thanks for checking out the show, and be sure to tell your friends, and tune in again next week, 8 to 10 p.m. And remember, without a tune in your head, you are seriously misled. And if you have any comments, email melodiesinmind@gmail.com. Welcome to Hour 2.